Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this little guy right here. This is the TAG Heuer Aquaracer. And specifically, this is the Caliber 5 automatic model. First off, though, before I go any further, I want to thank my buddies over at Lewis Jewelers in Ann Arbor, Michigan, for loaning me this guy for review. They gave it to me. I told them, as always, I'm going to talk about the good, the great, the bad, the ugly. Might be a gem, might be junk. They said, yeah, no problem at all. Let me take it home for a little while, check it out, and get a sense of things. Keep in mind, these are my dealers here. They help me out with a lot of stuff, including the Omegas and whatnot. And they are a tag dealer. And chances are that, well, if you give them a call, talk to DK, tell him Nick Shabazz sent you. He may be able to help you out with some special pricing too. So, anyways, there you go. Thank you very much there, Lewis. Next thing, let's do a little bit of a size comparison. Actually, speaking of the Omega, right here I have the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean 8900, and we can kind of do a little bit of a comparison. These are both dive watches, quite obviously, but you can see here that the Planet Ocean is larger in just pretty much every way, and over here we've got you can see that the Planet Ocean is pretty thicker as well. Pretty thicker? That doesn't even make sense. That's not English. But anyways, so you can see here that the Aquaracer is it's a very different size. Oh, and the date's wrong. Whoops. And actually, for size, let's do some measurements here. We'll go ahead and measure up the bezel here. We're coming in about 41 millimeters. See, so I told you, it's a reasonably sized watch. The lug-to-lug distance is a very, very modest, actually, that's not all that modest. I guess it's okay. It's 47 millimeters. Look, whatever the value judgment is, there it is. The actual crystal width on this guy is coming in at about 31. The width of the bracelet here is coming in at 20 millimeters, which is just fine. And then the overall thickness of this guy is coming in around 12 millimeters, which you can see if I have my hand out of the way. So, there's that. Next thing, note that this is a relatively quick review. I mean, it's still going to take me forever because I am who I am. But I have only spent a little while with this watch. I haven't spent hours and hours and days wearing it. In fact, it's not even been adjusted to me. It's a factory fresh watch. So keep that one in mind. And also, finally, one note, this is the Aquaracer lineup, which is actually a step above the other tag I've reviewed on the channel here, which is the Formula One. It's sort of their next move up, and we'll see that in a couple of different places here as we do the comparisons. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly of your little TAG Heuer Aquaracer right here. First off, on the good side, the size on this guy is quite nice. I was just talking about how it's actually a relatively modestly sized knife. Watch. It's not a knife. I do a lot of knife reviews. Sorry about that, guys. But the thing is, it's relatively thin. It wears pretty well on the whole. I'm actually pretty impressed with this little guy. There's a lot of good to this guy, and I appreciate that very much. The other thing is I like the way this wears on the wrist. At least for me, on my wrist, this really does, it sits well, and I have relatively small wrists. This just really feels comfortable with these relatively short lugs. Oh yeah, they're doing a lot of good here, and so I like this size on this guy very, very much, and in a world of dinner plate watches, they're doing good. Next thing, this is using the TAG Caliber 5 movement. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, Nick, what does that mean? Well, actually, what it means is it's an ETA 2824-2. They have probably done some differences in finishing. I didn't crack it open to see, but the thing is, it is an ETA 2824-2. What this means is that the movement in your watch is the same as in any other ETA 2824-2 movement watch, maybe with a little bit of, prettiness on it, but that means that this has the same movement as watches from Hamilton, Tissot, Certina, a bunch of the older Tudor, Black Bays, Rangers, etc. Zinn uses it, Steinhardt. Look, a bunch of people use the 2824-2, and the thing is that's because it's a great freaking movement. It's an automatic watch, so it'll charge itself as you move your arm, or you can hand wind it. It's got about a 40-hour power reserve. It's got a date, complete with a quick set function here. If I pop out the screw-down crown, which, by the way, the crown is a screw-down crown, what I can do here is pull it to the first position, and you can see here that it is right now changing the date on here. So that's very good. It is also a hacking movement, so if I pull the crown all the way out, the second hand stops. It can be regulated to pretty high accuracy, and it actually has a relatively smooth wind to it, which is something I appreciate. A lot of lower-end movements tend to be really crappy, but this one's doing really well, and actually 2824 is not a lower-end movement. So anyways, that's nice. It's a good movement overall. The bezel on this guy is actually pretty nice as well. As we kind of zoom in here, what you can see is that it's got a nice kind of radial sort of brushing on this guy. It's got areas that are polished here, so you can see my my nostril right there. That's always helpful. But you've got the nice little underlaid steel in there, cutouts that is, which allow you to, well, pretty straightforwardly see what's going on inside there. That's nice. And you know, honestly, there's no play to it. It's got a lume pip in the top there. There's just a lot to love about this little guy in terms of that bezel. And frankly, I find it a lot classier than the printed aluminum that you get on a lot of lower end divers. The aluminum bezels are okay, but this just looks better. I'm a big fan of that. Sorry, I had to grab my flashlight because next up, I want to talk a little bit about the, next up I want to talk about the water resistance. Don't need a flashlight for that. Anyways, the water resistance on this guy is very good. You can see here it is a 300-meter water resistance, which basically means that this watch will not die before you do if you fall into the ocean. You do not have to think about water with this guy. You can wear it in the shower, you can wear it swimming, you can wear it diving. It is a fine watch for water. No freaking problem there. It's the Aquaracer. It freaking better be fine in the water, but still, that's good. The bracelet on this guy is also pretty nice. You can see here that it actually has polished side links. Each one of the links on the side there is polished up, which is good. But the fronts of these guys are brushed, and so you can see that's a nice thing in my estimation. Brushed links just show a lot less wear. They show a lot less beat down, and you can brush them back out very, very readily. Just take it to your local jeweler, and so that's a really nice thing. The links are also really well fitted to the case. As you can see right here, it has a really good feeling of quality right there. You have a reasonably nice little clasp here, although it is a folded clasp. I don't really hold that against this guy, given that everything else is good. It's got a very nice, this little area in here is beautifully done, and actually is a step up from the Formula 1, where there were like holes that everything pushed through. There is a diver's extension built into this guy, which I think they call a racing extension, but still, that means you can add a little bit of a space to that. Let's see here. Yeah, you've added someplace in the vicinity of 16 millimeters. That seems a little long, but hey, whatever. To there, in case your wrist swells or your dive suit swells or whatever. I guess your dive suit wouldn't swell. But anyways, that's beside the point. You also have a fair amount of adjustability with a half link included, as well as 3 quick adjust holes, although they are not toolless quick adjust. And you know what? The clasp is, like I said, pretty solid. So the bracelet on this guy is really nice. I got to say, I'm quite happy with the bracelet we've got going on here. Next thing, we have the coating, the crystal on this guy, which I'm going to wipe off for a second here, is a very nice crystal. It is anti-reflective, and it is currently being schmutzed up by my cleaning cloth, which is not great. But it is an anti-reflective coating on this crystal here. And it is a sapphire crystal, so it's not going to scratch up very easily, even as some jackass cleans it with a microfiber cloth. That's just great. You can see here that it doesn't reflect. Even if I put it directly under the light, it's doing a lot better than some, and that was actually one of the weaknesses of the Formula 1. A very, very nice improvement we had going on there. The dial on this guy is also quite good. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to try at least. Yeah, there we go. Zoom in a little bit. What we can see here on the dial is not only do you have this nice little kind of striped aesthetic going on here, and that is exclusive to the mechanical version of this, by the way, but you also have a little bit. I'm going to see if I can kind of show this off with a little bit of light from the side. Yeah, you got a little tiny bit of a starburst effect. Sunburst. Is that the term? Guys, it's late. By the way, you've got a nice little effect on there that plays with the light very nicely, and that's not something I initially understood. But that's nice. You also have fully applied indices. Every one of these indices is stuck on there separately, along with the TAG logo, which is applied here rather than just painted on. This is the case with the Formula 1s. You have a very nice date window inside with a cute little sort of frame to it, complete with the angular cuts into there. I mean, the dial on this is very, very nice. And the grooves are kind of nice. This is sunburst. That's what I wanted there. Anyways, so I think this is a very great dial. And one of the other things I love so much about this dial is I'm going to charge the lume off camera here. Hold on. Use a powerful freaking flashlight. Now take a look at that. Look at that lume, guys. This lume is amazing. This is really, really good. I'm a big fan of this lume, and in an overnight test, this worked pretty damn well. I'm very, very happy with that, or at least a long-duration dark test. It was holding up next to some really, really great pieces in terms of luminosity, so I have zero doubt that this is going to be a great lume performer for you. And overall, a very, very nice watch. I mean, see, you can even see the lume with the lights going on in here. So that's very, very nice. And then finally, on the good side, honestly, the finishing on this watch is really good overall. This is a nice watch. I've handled a lot of luxury watches, and this is a good one. There is no shame in this. It's got a nice mix of polishing and brushing, as we're seeing on the sides of the case here being brushed. Oh, a little bit of a face reveal there. And polished and whatnot. You've got the nice little crown here with the TAG logo on it. You get the brushing, then you get the polishing. This is just really, really well done. It's got interesting textures, etc. And honestly, holding it up next to the Omega Planet Ocean here, although, they're very clearly different watches, and, there are some improvements on the Omega, by and large, this is not far behind. And so I really do appreciate that very much. Even though this is a more budget-friendly watch, given it's still a luxury watch pricing. I don't need to hear the "you bourgeois bastard" in the comments, but still, this is actually doing quite well in the finishing department for the price. And so to me, that's what's good here, is that the finishing is really good. Loom is solid on a nice dial, anti-reflective sapphire crystal, a nice bracelet, 300 meters of water resist, nice bezel, great movement, and with the TAG Caliber 5, aka TA2824-2, and a very, very nice size. That all to me is the good. Pardon me. So on the great front, I love the fact that you have the option to get this guy with the mechanical movement, as you're seeing right here, the Caliber 5, or with a pretty decent quartz movement. Look, I argue very much that companies should offer that choice, because it is the case that for a subset of people, quartz is just better. People who want lower maintenance, people who work with magnetic fields on a regular basis. There are many, many reasons for whom, for which a quartz watch is simply better suited. And the fact that TAG is willing to offer you this exact same watch, in fact, there are very, very few differences. The mechanical has these dashes across, the stripes across the dial here, but the quartz doesn't. But honestly, the quartz is really, really still nice. And especially compared to watches like from Omega, where their quartz Seamaster or Aquaterra lineup is just like, they whack it over the head with the freaking, oh man, they just really kneecap that one in order to make it, quartz acceptable and not compete with the mechanicals. I love that the TAG has given us that choice here. And given the fact that quartz is more accurate, more durable, longer power reserve, less service cost, it's a great choice. And the very best part is that it is $650 less. This watch here, actually, we've started off with, is about $2,200, $2,300. The quartz version of it is $1,550. That is really, really nice. I got the mechanical here for review so that I could see what TAG's mechanicals run like, do a little bit of measurement, etc., and get a sense for the feel of it and show you that off. But the quartz option is really compelling, and in some ways more compelling. And just, I love that they're offering us that choice in a watch that is fundamentally just as good in quartz or mech. So to me, that's what's great, is that you can really choose your own movement, because those are, well, they're both great options. So on the bad side, first off, like I said, the TAG Caliber 5 is the ETA 2824-2 movement. Damn it, TAG, call a spade a spade. Look, I know that this is super common in the watch world. Nobody calls their borrowed movements by their actual names, but this still feels really sleazy to me. It's like if I were to go out, buy a BMW Z4, repaint it, call it the Shabazz, and say, I made this. This one is mine. Like, no, it's not. The 2824 is a great movement. Absolutely. But wear it with pride. Seriously. I know that they're trying to hide the similarity to a bunch of other watchmakers' work, but guys, it's a 2824. Just say that, because I'm more likely to respect it than if you just call it the TAG Caliber 5. What's that mean? I don't freaking know. So that's a thing. Next thing, on the quartz side, my one objection to their quartz watches is that Swiss quartz tends to be very basic still. Not like in the pumpkin spice latte sense, but in the sense that there's no solar, no perpetual calendars, no radio, independent hour hand, etc. Swiss quartz is just behind the times relative to Japanese. Casio, Citizen, Seiko tend to put in more features, tend to put in just higher-end quartz movements than the Swiss do. And I really do wish that the Swiss were viewing quartz and mechanical as two different places to excel, to put in a great quartz movement and a great mechanical movement, and I think that would just be great. If only Swiss people love quartz as much as hippies do, God, the world would be a better place. So there you go. Next thing, there is no index next to the date window. Is this remotely important? No, not at all, but it does add a little bit of asymmetry here. If you're just looking at this dial, it's like, okay. Not a huge fan of that. Not a big deal, though. Next thing, this has an opaque and actually profoundly boring case back. If we look at this case back, it's like, hey, it's a dive watch. What do you put on it? I don't know, maybe like a diver? Okay, sounds fine. No. It's a mechanical watch. Show me the movement, guys. I know it's a diver, but let's face it, who's diving with it? And lots of other people are able to do a transparent case back on a mechanical diver. So, guys, why not, right? If we're paying the extra money for the mechanical, show us what we're paying for. And so I just don't find the case back super inspiring, and yeah, I kind of wish there was something there to show off why you paid all that extra. But that's, more opinion than anything. Next thing, it does not actually have anti-magnetic protection. A lot of watches, unfortunately, on the lower end do not. But it's just the case that mechanical watches are going to be vulnerable to magnetic fields. And magnetic fields are kind of everywhere in life. My iPad case has huge freaking magnets in it, which can cause some trouble. So you're going to want to keep that one in mind. Next thing, there is no toolless quick adjust on this bracelet. Although you have the ability to quick adjust using these 3 holes here, and you also can pop out the diver's extension if you suddenly need a bunch of millimeters. There is no ability to, say, as on this Omega here, just press a button here and then suddenly get a little bit more bracelet or a little bit less bracelet, depending on the swelling of your wrist on a given moment. Once you have had a quick adjust like that, you never want to freaking go back. And to see it lacking here in a $2,000 watch, it's not doing it for me. They're doing better than most with the extra adjustability here and here with the half link and whatnot. But guys, no, you can do better than that. So please do better than that. Next thing, the bracelet, unfortunately, even at this price, is still using pinned links. It's not the end of the world. You shouldn't really need to adjust your bracelet very often. And if you buy from a good AD, they'll do it for you. But still, I'd kind of like to see screw down links here at this kind of price. Next thing, the bezel on this guy. Look, I like it. It's attractive. It's pretty. But guys, it's not super readable. You don't get, for instance, individual minute demarcations under 15. You don't get, for instance, really a whole bunch of contrast. Practically speaking, you kind of look down at it, and it's one mass. You can rotate it. Even, frankly, the lume pip there's not like any paint around it. And so, in a lot of lights, you can see here, where's the lume pip? I don't freaking know. It's under there someplace, but unless it's late at night, you're not going to see that pip, and that's not something that's so great. So if you're looking at this for, like, I really need that diver's bezel, probably want to watch with a more visible diver's bezel. But actually, diver's bezels can be very helpful for just like timing something. Like, okay, in an hour, I need to get pizza, so you put the diver bezel there. But anyways, it's beside the point. Then finally, on the bad side, the price on this guy is absolutely getting up there. Like I said, we are looking at $2,300 for this guy. Now, okay, it's a solid watch. I'll give you that. It's well finished, good movement. But the thing is, at that kind of price range, you can do a lot of good from a lot of brands. Let's be real here. $2,300 is a lot of money to put on your wrist still. I know for a large portion of the world that's simply not an option, and that's okay. That's understandable. But the thing is, more specifically from TAG Heuer, I feel like TAG is a brand that really needs to push value if they want to succeed. That's kind of what they have going. They are not going to compete with Omega, for instance, on the high end. It's just the Omega was there first. Same thing, they're not up against Rolex or Omega or Grand Seiko or Breitling. They're doing their own thing. Frankly, they're borderline against like Longines and Tudor. The finishing is about in line, but still, I really think that TAG needs to focus their efforts on the budget world, on providing a lot of value and showing people, you know what, those other Swiss guys, they're kind of ripping you off a little bit. We can do better, cheaper. That's where they're going to have their cachet. They could do really, really well on that. And so I really hope that they focus their efforts on giving a lot of watch for the dollar and bring high-end finishing to low-end pricing. And I think watches like this guy at this kind of price are at the outer edge of that kind of value. And this is where you really want to start getting good deals, by the way. $2,300 is a lot of money, but you shouldn't pay $2,300. You shouldn't pay full bill retail for damn near any watch. You should always talk to your AD and get a better price, develop a relationship, and then they'll be able to offer you better. And if they won't offer you better, well, find a new AD. Or heck, find mine, Dr. Lewis Jewelers, Dr. DK. He'll probably help you out a little bit. But either way, you shouldn't pay full bill retail here because honestly, the value is just okay, it's right on the edge there. On the quartz, though, value it's good. Solid, good to go. So, to me, all of that is the bad. Is that the price on this guy is right at the edge of the value that I think Breitling needs to succeed. The bezel isn't super readable. The bracelet is still pinned links with no quick adjust sort of system, or at least no toolless quick adjust. There is no anti-magnetic protection here. It has a very opaque and boring case back. There's no index next to the date. The quartz that they're using is still pretty basic, and the caliber is just an ETA 2824. It's a fine movement, but just call it like it is, TAG. Just do it. I'm sorry. We're done. On the ugly front, two issues. First off, this is a $2,300 watch, and they make no guarantees of accuracy. If you look on their website, they don't say a damn thing about what you can expect this watch to run at. And that's just not great. Past the grand, I'm sorry, you need to be giving me some guarantee that the watch is going to run acceptably, that the watch is going to be accurate, that the watch is going to do the one damn thing it's supposed to do, which is tell time well. I'm open to a wider range than cost at these lower ends. I don't require that, but if you tell me like -5 + 5 or something like that seconds a day, meaning that it's only going to lose, that would be great. Frankly, I don't even need a certificate, but just damn it, make it happen. This guy is actually doing pretty okay. This guy is running between +3 and +7 seconds a day, depending on, what your position you're in. But damn it, guys, for $2,000, you need to be doing better than, oh, hell, it ticks. Luckily, if you care about accuracy, you can go quartz, but still, I want to see some kind of guarantee on accuracy at this kind of a price point. And then finally, on the ugly side, TAG is unfortunately not a brand with great resale value. What I mean by that is that particularly on the mid to high end, the market is just really soft. I looked up this guy particularly on a couple of sites that let you look at used watch deals. And I found this guy, which has $2,300 retail price, selling predominantly from about $1,000 to $1,300. That's pretty rough. What that means is if you buy this guy at full bill retail, which you should not do, you will be taking a bath, around $1,000 if you turn around and sell it the next day. I think this is because a lot of people, like I said, see TAG as a more value-minded, budget-friendly brand. And so when they do these higher-end pieces, when they're selling watches at $2,300, a lot of people aren't necessarily buying on the used market. And, especially in the used world, it tends to be a lot of watch enthusiasts, and like I said, there's that perception there. And so TAG, I think, more than most, what you need to learn from that is that TAG is a brand that you buy to keep and love, or to gift or something like that, not a brand that you would buy as an investment. If you're trying to tie up money, a TAG is not the way to do it. You'll either wear it to your grave, or you're going to take a huge freaking bath if you sell it to somebody else. And so to me, that's the ugly, is that TAG doesn't tend to hold value well, and it's a $2,300 watch with no guarantee of accuracy from the maker, and guys, that's your job. Final conclusions, though. Honestly, I really do like this watch a lot. That's kind of why I grabbed it out of the case. I mean, this arrangement, I basically walk into the shop like, yeah, let me take that guy home and take a look. And I freely admit, I'm picking the watches that I think are going to be neatest for you guys, that I think are going to be most interesting, and most, frankly, I'm going to like most, because I'd rather look at good stuff. And I think this is a really nice diver option right here. It's well finished, absolutely. It's got a very nice movement. It's checking all the boxes for a luxury watch. I mean, if you look at all of the various features, everything short of the quick adjust is there. It is a visible step up from TAG's lower pieces. That kind of surprised me a little bit. The Formula 1 is very well made, but this just one-ups it in a couple of little areas. It's like, yeah, nice, well done. And it is available in quartz with very little downslide in quality at a price that, particularly from a good AD, is, I think, high enough to get great finishing, but doesn't feel too much like you're just paying for more marble in some jackass's Swiss chalet. Yeah, it's not without flaws, 100%. The caliber is mislabeled. It's a 28-24, guys. Let's just be done with it. The quartz movement's a little lazy. The bracelet's a little behind the times. The bezel's a bit unreasonable. The price is definitely up there, and that's going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people, I know. And they're not even willing to guarantee accuracy. But, honestly, even with all that said, I think this is a really, really great little diver for somebody who wants luxury without abject insanity and poverty. There are lots of good other options out there. The Monta Ocean King comes to mind, the Oris Diver 65, Longines Legend, and if you're willing to go used at the 2300 range, you got a lot of different options out there available. And I'd like to give you one more shove towards the quartz option here. I mean, seriously. There you're getting more accuracy, more durability, more power reserve, no long-term future services. By the way, that's another advantage to the ETA movement. Anyone can service it, and that'll be cheaper than having to send it back to Omega if you buy some fancy coaxial affair like some of us have. But I really do believe that quartz is the better choice for the majority of people out there, and this is yet another example of that. But honestly, I don't have any trouble recommending this guy at all. That's why I grabbed it out of the case. There are other designs I certainly prefer. This is not the watch I'm going to buy for me because, like I said, aesthetically, it's not exactly what I'm after here. But this is a watch that at the same time I wouldn't hesitate to wear. I think functionally it's a really nice piece, and it's got a lot more good and great than bad and ugly. So if you're loving the design, which is important, you're looking to spend luxury watch money, but you're not looking to spend, insane luxury watch money, I think that you might be all H2 over the moon with this little guy, the Aquaracer right here. Anyways, I hope this is interesting, that I didn't race through this review too much, and have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. You should go get some water to race in. Anyways, have a good one now. Bye now.